8 laps to go. Gomez has 7.64 laps of fuel. How? How? I don't know. I cannot tell you guys. I do not know. Alright everyone, hello and welcome back to another episode on Motorsport Manager with me, Spacefish, and welcome back to the aftermath of the practice session for the second race of our third season, no less. And, coming off of a rather rocky season and a semi-botched start to the new season after a little bit of over-aggressive strategies, I would say. We are now headed for our second race of the season. The practice has been overall quite solid, I would say, as it usually is. You know, somehow we're always the fastest people on grid. And now we are looking to hopefully make things work out in the race for ourselves. So, I would say, with, everyone being super enthusiastic and, as usual, let's not, let that carry us away. Let us just go, head into the race, and hopefully, it is going to go well for us. We're going to try and keep it more conservative this time around, conservative strategy, just trying to keep it on the track, trying to make things work for ourselves. Weather should be fine, and then we'll go from there. That said, though, before we get going, if you're new around here, if you do happen to enjoy this episode, if you want to stay around for more in the future, please make sure to go ahead and smash that subscribe button right down below. We'd really appreciate that a ton. With all that stuff out of the way, though, let's go ahead. Let's hit that continue button. And let's look towards the race. Our objective, of course, being 10th or above for a sponsor bonus of 400k would be very, very nice to have. Fingers crossed that'll work out for us. We do have a few options here, generally speaking. Race trim, always good, And that's going to be effective across all tyres, I suppose. And I do feel like we're going to do the pit stop guru again, because that has proven to be a little stronger for us, I guess. Also here, same deal, pit stop guru, I think, was a little stronger than the pit stop legend. So we will be taking that for both of our drivers. Now, car setup was very, very nice and good, and we do have 29 laps here. So the big question, of course, will be how will our tyres do? Jesus Christ, they are supposed to be holding on to dear life for a long time for Gomez. We do have to keep in mind, though, we are at the start of the season. The cars can really not take that much of a battering in terms of just, pumping the max into the engine at all times. It's not going to be possible. The cars are going to explode. So we're going to go get the fuel down to 11 laps for Gomez, I would say. Get him in the 10th lap. So a little bit of engine boost still to be had there, and the tyres should be holding together nicely, and then hopefully 3 stops on softs for him would be the plan. I think for Hong we'll probably need 1 stint on mediums, because he's usually the guy that just can't cope with his tyres. He's got no clue how to keep them in a state where they don't fall to bits. So as you can evidently see, 2 laps less in terms of survivability on the tyres, so we'll keep him on little shorter notice. So I think for Hong the idea would be 9th lap, then 18th, 9th lap, then maybe we do a stint in mediums, and then we go to the finish. How long do the mediums last, by the way? 14 laps, so we could go 9th lap, then like 21st, and then just a strong stint of softs or something like that. Something along those lines, I would say. We'll start with the softs. We'll go and aim for 9 laps with him. Hopefully that'll work out for us, and then we'll go from there. Driver strategies, of course, max for the start, and then we'll go and tune it down quickly afterwards. So, that is the strategy right there for the race. Andreev's starting at the very front because he's just like super far back in the championship. Hong has actually racked up a few points, so he'll start on the 8th spot. Hopefully that'll somehow work out for him. And all lights are going off. Away we go. Hong having a great start, but being blocked by the person in front of him having a terrible start. So in that kind of sucks. He could have veered off to the side there, and then he already gets overtaken by somebody, binning it down the inside line, getting overtaken by another guy. Oh my god, come on Hong. You will make it someday. Come on, mate. Please be useful. Do something good. I'm still not convinced that we picked the right driver in him, to be honest. Like, slowly but surely, I am doubting that choice more and more. He's just never really doing well in the races. I don't know what it is. Even Gomez seems to be doing better and having more pace in these races, to be quite honest with you. Now, that said, I mean, what do we do about that? We kind of will have to keep things going like this. We'll keep the engine strategy at the max, I would say, but we will go and cool down those tyres, make sure they don't do, don't burn away too crazily. Hong is at least still fighting around that back marker, well, not back marker position, but somewhere around that 8th, 9th spot where he started. As I'm saying that, he's already dropping spots. So now, effectively, our weaker car is chilling on the 2nd spot, while our stronger car is losing places. And he's even in way better form than Gomez, supposedly. I don't know how he manages to keep doing this, to be quite honest with you. Now, we'll be tuning down those tyres and the fuel strategies and everything a little bit, just, you know, trying to cool things down, not go too crazy on all the parts, not burn through too much of our fuel and of our tyres, and just kind of try and keep things in check for the time being. You know, trying to be nice and conservative with that strategy as we had aimed for, and then we're going from there. Hong, in the meanwhile, already down to 12th, doing absolutely great for himself. Now, Gomez is starting to be reeled in a little bit here too. That is kind of just unfortunately what is going to happen. I mean, we were all expecting that we won't be holding 2nd spot for the entirety of the race, even though, you know, it would be absolutely beautiful. Please, Gomez, feel free. Feel free to stay around, be my guest. I have got no issue in the world with that. But you can say, that's probably not going to be happening. So, with that said then, Hong is dropping more and more. That's absolutely incredible. Gomez is now starting to get into that little infight right there, as we had expected. What is intriguing is that it does seem to be clouding up a little bit, but it just seems to be getting cloudy. Nothing else really noted about the changing conditions here in the race, so we'll keep our fingers crossed that it'll stay that way. Always a bit of an issue when you do not have the greatest weather forecast capabilities in the world, I guess, but we'll have to see about that. Now, just for a quick fuel check, you can see right here, Hong has got 4 laps of fuel remaining, so 6, 7, 8, and 9. That's pretty much spot on. Andre is also pretty much spot on, and well, I guess the verdict will be that we have to tune down both those cars a little bit more to make sure that they're making it through. Hong has made it through 5 laps now, I guess, with 50% of the tyres. Oh boy, well, I mean, he is driving more conservatively at the start, so I would be hoping that that means he's going to be coming in about 20% tyre condition at the end of the day, somehow make things work. How are you driving 0.8 seconds faster all of a sudden when I tune down the engine? That felt good. Hong is over. I'm absolutely flabbergasted. What is happening all of a sudden? What is happening to my times? Why are my drivers faster when I'm tuning down the car? I am so confused out of my mind, and then it just kind of snaps back. That was weird. Do I just keep swapping back and forth strategies now 15 times to, you know, speed up the cars, or what's the deal here? I'm not quite sure why this is happening, but in any case, you know, Hong is at least clinging on to that position more or less and staying around there. Gomez is somehow staying around here. I don't know what has possessed him at this point, but you know, not complaining. Hong is at 10.0 of a form, still not managing to do a thing, so that's you know, great. Well, that's kind of the way it is. We'll do a little bit of a fuel check right here. In fact, Gomez is now leading the race because the person in front of him is actually pitted because his tyres are absolutely trashed somehow. Which I'm not sure how he did that, but, you know, I'm not complaining at all. Now, start-finish line, we do have 2.19 laps of fuel on Gomez, which is beautiful. That means we can go and tune up that engine strategy bit. Tyres, I would say we leave where they're at. We'll do a similar check here at the start-finish line for Hong, which will also indicate that we can go push that engine. We will go and push the everlasting last bit out of those tyres, and we will make sure to schedule him to come into the pits this lap, go and swap for mediums then, and, well, we do, in fact, only have the ability to fuel up for 12 laps, so that is a bit of an issue. Well, it's not really that much of one. So it'll get us to at max till the 21st lap. I would guess till the 20th probably, because we will push the engine a bit. And at the same time, then we can go just burn through the tyres, drive a little more aggressively, so that's kind of fine, I suppose. So, that's the go-to plan for Hong then, who is now in 9th spot, of course, because a few people pitted, but those are coming out of the pits quite soon. Now, Gomez here will be driving for one more lap. He will just be going soft, 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 pretty much, all day long. So, you're not going to be too worried about him. He is being caught up to by some other people, though, now, so... You know, slowly but surely losing that pace. Some people even having to get repaired, which is super, super interesting, I have to say. Now, you can see right here, 1.1 laps of fuel remaining, so that should be pretty much fine. We will go ahead and go full attack on those tyres now as well. And there goes lap number 10. We will go ahead and pull Gomez into the pits, and we'll pretty much just go for the same strategy. So, as I was actually told in the comments, thank you so much for that, by the way, this is not... Well, technically, so this is supposed to be the amount of fuel you add. This is not the amount of fuel. Well, technically, this, honestly, right? Technically, the way that I interpret this graphic should be, and evidently it's not, because we've all seen it, and it's kind of been confirmed in the comments as well. Technically, the way that I see it is this should be fuel currently. This should be the new amount of fuel, including what we have here. But what this actually is the new amount of fuel you put on top of the fuel you currently have in the car, because as you can see right here also, it says add fuel. So we come into the pits with like 1.0 or 0 point something laps of fuel, which the game just rounds up to 1, I guess. Then you put 10 laps of fuel on top, and then you're suddenly at 11. So we'll add 10, we'll have 11, and we'll just kind of go back into the pits at lap 20, and then we'll do one more stop and kind of just push through to the end, right? So that's the part, the plan right there. What do you mean? 31% after 10 laps. We will go and fix the dampers because, well, evidently, can't do anything about that. In fact, it doesn't seem to change our pit stop time, which is insane. If we would do this as well, it would, but, oh. I have never seen this bit. I've never seen this bit at all. I've never seen where we estimate the... I've never seen the estimated position after a pit stop. I will excuse myself by saying my microphone is right in front of this bit here. But I am absolutely blind. That's glorious. So you can actually see whereabouts we will be exiting. Close to Alex Rogers, right? We'll estimate 16th position or same position, but we'll be battling him. So the question is honestly in terrible part condition, and this will not make it to the end. We'll try and go for that. We'll actually make sure to fix the car. We said we're going to be conservative here today, right? So that's just the approach we're taking. And Hong is now, in fact, also in the pits. Hopefully it's going to work out well for him. It actually did, and he is coming out, well, sort of same-ish position, I guess. I mean, there's a few people here to pit, so we'll see how that pit goes. We'll just go maxim, and yeah, then the fuel will have to turn down quite quickly. The tyres not as much, I suppose. Gomez then. This will be an interesting one. I suppose the people around me will have to box very, very soon as well. So, well, in fact, they're still going with those tyres. That is quite adventurous, I would argue. But we are in the pits. We'll go and get those repairs going, which will take a tad bit longer than the actual pit stop, but not too much. So we'll just say that, you know, it's somehow fine. He's going to be coming out of the pits. We will tune down that engine strategy on Hong already to make sure that that is going to be somehow working out fine for us. We will, in fact, also tune down the tyre strategy to make sure to not crazily overheat the tyres. In fact, we can maybe just tune down to neutral. When the tyres cool off, we'll kind of just push it up again and so on and so forth. Just trying to hold a decent temperature here. Now, for Gomez, you know, max push. Let's go. Get some time out of this before the other people up there with the mediums go into the pit lane. And, well, then it's going to be Gomez being, like, next to the only person on the pit, on the grid with soft tyres. So that is going to be quite an interesting one, I would say. We're going to go tune down that tyre strategy already. The fuel can already stay up there for a while longer. And, yeah, then we'll kind of just do things like that. And, lots of people in the pits, and of course, he just slams into that dude. Not like he could go off to the left, not you could go off to the right. No, you just slam face first into that car and just hit the brakes full on. I never understand that dynamic with Motorsport Manager, to be honest. And now he oh my god, stop being overtaken by everyone, please. Pretty please. You've even got better tyres. Come on, don't do this to me. Oh boy. Okay, we'll tune down that strategy at the very least, you know, conserve the tyres and everything, and from that point on, the only thing that we can do is go ahead and push Hong a little bit, because he does have way more tyre left than he actually needs. And we'll just kind of keep things going that way. Now, just looking at the weather again, not seeing anything spectacular there, to be honest. Gomez is in a little bit of a hot zone with those tyres, so that is, of course, not great. And I suppose probably also not really helping his performance. Now, what I do want to check is this. We're in the 14th lap. We have then 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 to go. So, wait. Did I make a mistake with the fuel? We are in the 14th lap. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. But 14 we need to drive as well. So it's 7 laps, right? He's got 6.2 laps of fuel. What in the world have I done? What in the world have I done to him? We can actually, in fact, not even pit both these guys in the same lap. So I'm not really sure what my plan was here. Because technically this guy has to go and pit in lap 20 in order to make it till the end with his soft tyres. While this guy can make him last a little longer. For like 10 laps, right? So this guy technically should be coming in lap 19 now. And then we make a 10 lap stint at the end. So technically speaking, I guess it's 6 laps and he's somewhat fine on fuel still for the time being. And then this guy here, coming in lap 20, is also okay. So we'll make it work like that. I'm not quite sure what I did with the fuel there. In the end, it somehow worked out in our favor. Because while it wasn't really how I had planned things, I guess it works that way, and it's kind of okay. But still, like, Jesus Christ, man. We really need to pay some attention here at what we're doing. So, I think this is the part of the racing where we can just go ahead and skip a few laps. You know, watch Gomez being overtaken beautifully and gloriously over and over again, while Hong is still creeping 1 spot too low currently in terms of, well, compared to what we need. Now, a little check-in right here. We do have 4.06 laps of fuel remaining, so we do definitely need to tune down that engine. And we do have 5.19 laps of fuel remaining here, so we can keep that going a little more. Now, those tyres are a little hot, and it's absolutely insane that Hong came into the pits after Gomez. Got hard tyres, well, harder tyres, right, and has used them up more. I mean, I have left him on a bit more of an aggressive strategy regarding the tyres. We will have to give him that, but it's still quite insane that his tyres are actually lower condition than the guy that's meant to pit before him. Which makes me think, right, we've got 4 laps remaining before Gomez comes in. He's kind of done 5 already, in which he's used 40% of the tyres, so we can go and push that tyre. Well, in fact, we can truly go and push that tyre a little more, because his tyres are so hot, they actually need to cool off before we can go and push the ever-living everything out of them. That said, what is happening? Why is he so quick again all of a sudden? I'm really confused by this. I mean, his pace has, not his pace, his little form here has gone up a little bit, so maybe that goes to add to things, but still quite surprising indeed. Now, that said, we will go and keep rolling around this little racetrack, like right here, and we'll actually make sure. Right, so we've got 2 laps to go, right? 18, 19. He is pretty fine on fuel. In fact, we could probably push a little more. The tyres are pretty good, so you can probably push that a little more. We do need to conserve some fuel for Hong. Tyres, we will leave where they're at, and in pushing up the strategy a notch for Gomez, he is, of course, losing places. That makes absolutely no sense. That said, we're holding 10th and 12th. Which, we're holding 8th and 12th. We're holding 9th and we're holding 8th and, yeah. You guys get the point, right? Hong just got overtaken, so we're not holding those 2 places. We do need to come somehow and just try and make this work. Now, 19th lap. We need to actually make sure to go ahead and push those tyres to the max now. This guy here, not so much. This guy here, very much. So he will come into the pits, of course. He will go and get a new set of softs. The idea will be to keep him going for 10 laps. And no, I mean, yeah, so this should add up to 11, hopefully. Fingers crossed. If not, you know, we'll just be running with a little less fuel in the tank. And had we not just repaired this thing? It is already falling apart again. I am absolutely flabbergasted by this stuff. Gearbox here would take absolute years to fix. We want to go conservative though, right? We wanted to go conservative, so we should fix things to some degree that we make it to the end without the whole car breaking down. And we'll just be banking on the fact that it's so early in the season, a lot of teams will have reliability issues, and us fixing our issues will mean that we somehow manage things. So, fingers crossed. But yeah, I mean, you could see also that, of course, you've improved the reliability with Hong's car to the max, and Gomez not so much, and now, you know, Hong is doing terribly as usual, and I don't even know. So yeah, kind of an issue, but what do you do about that? Those tyres do have a little too much rubber on them for my liking, I have to say, but that is what it is. Now we'll have all those repairs going, and we will lose some places, especially when all these people make mistakes on the repairs. No. Yeah, and that there goes that sponsorship objective. I'm quite sure of that right now, because yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. We'll just bank on the fact, as I said, that somehow, you know, these cars just explode. And we did also totally forget to make Hong push the ever-living heck out of his car. But we'll go and get Hong onto some softs now for the final stints. He will have, well, he's coming in at the end of the 20th lap, so he'll have 9, right? Can we just go back here real quick? We are in the 20th lap. So it's 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. There will be 9 laps remaining once he comes out of the pits. Game confusing the ever-living heck out of me. We will go and get this fueled up to... How did I get to 9.21? Now it shows me the fuel. I am so confused. So, he'll get like so much, right? That'll be 10 laps of fuel. He'll be burning the fuel a little bit, and then we'll leave it there. This thing needs to be repaired. Should not be adding any time to the pit stop, I hope. So we will go and get that going alongside, you know. Just be reliable. We'll just, you know, do the very conservative thing. We'll do the very conservative approach, and we'll just somehow pray and hope that that just works. I don't know. We will also just boost the last bit of the engine before we go and get in there. Of course, a little bit of a safety margin remaining here to make sure that we don't run out of fuel before we go and get refueled. But there we go. That is the tyres then swapped, and well, that is us somehow hoping for a miracle as we exit in 13th spot. Gomez being 18th now. Wow. We lost so much time due to those repairs. I mean, that was honestly... I mean, it's terrible, right? But you do also have to acknowledge that if we had not repaired that gearbox, there is a very high likeliness he wouldn't have made it to the end. And there is a lot of people here pitting now. And there is people with reliability issues as well, most crucially. So hopefully we make the right and the prudent and the mature call to, you know, say, we'll do the conservative approach. We'll just bank on the fact that it works out for us, and then we kind of see. So, that said, well, Hong can actually push a little more, his engine. We are in lap 22. So, it's 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. It's 8 laps to go. Gomez has 7.64 laps of fuel. How? How? I don't know. I cannot tell you guys. I do not know. And he hadn't even finished that flipping lap yet. Oh my god. That is not good. We'll just hope that our cars, you know, nice and wait, what? Hong! No, don't do this to me. You are in the sponsorship objective by such a tiny margin, and then you cut the flipping corner. Now you're under investigation. A drive-through penalty for cutting the corner once. This game is absolutely taking the piss. What is this right now? I mean, that's if you guys, if any of you are actually watching Motorsport, this is not how it works in the real world, right? I am so livid right now. We actually are in a spot where we are getting our sponsorship objective despite all these issues and the hardship, and then the game just throws that BS at me. Like, sorry, but that is just like... I am so livid right now. We just lost 8 places to that. I am absolutely... Okay. Well, that is one race to forget. Thank you so much, game. We finally had something going for us, and then that stops. I mean, sorry. I hope you guys can understand that I am quite salty about this bit. Now his car is starting to fall apart, despite repairing it like 5,000 times in a row. I mean, honestly, I am sorry, but that is just like, I've got no words. I've got absolutely no words for this stuff. We are in lap 25. We're just making a last little fuel check. Excess fuel for Hong. Too little fuel for him, but hopefully that'll still iron out. We'll keep zooming through, honestly, at this point. I don't think we do even have to watch much of the remainder of the race, you know. There will be some people with reliability issues. Are we catching up to people? No, we're kind of even losing time. Well, not on these people, just compared to the front runner. So we're catching up, but even if we like just overtake 2-3 cars now, it's not going to get us anywhere, you know. We've got like 6 places that we would need. 6 places to get anywhere. And I mean, as much as I would like to tell you guys something else, that is just not going to happen. No tinkering with strategies. No, nothing is going to do this for us. We're somehow behind them. We somehow gained a place by one of the guys just having to pit on reliability issues. But that's it. That's it. Final lap will be starting soon. Andre's even still too low on fuel, so we've got to lower his fuel setting. And well, that's how the race will end. We had it. We had it by a mile. But like with that guy with reliability issues, we would have come in 8th. Even if we would have lost a position still, which would have probably not happened due to us having softs while most of the I had mediums, and our better car finally being up front. We would have had it. We would have had it right there. And then the game throws that at me. I mean, sorry guys. At that point, I'm at wit's end. I don't know what to do. This was our first shimmer of light in quite a long time, and then that just happened. So, well, I would say one race to forget. Absolutely terrible for us, as per usual. The standings. We're not going to be doing great in. We're, of course, last spot. Dropped down all the way from that issue, and Gomez's car falling apart. Well, that's one thing, because of course we had put all our development in Hong's car. But with Hong's car being set up and being in the right position, and us almost having that done and then that happening, I mean, that's just absolutely mind-boggling, absolutely frustrating, and well, I assume you guys see it that way as well. In any case, so we'll leave it off there. We'll leave off on at least the slight hope and the positivity of the fact that we were, in fact, going to be set to meet our sponsorship objective, make some money off that, get some decent standings, We'll hope that somehow we can grip onto it in the next race. For today, I would say we end this one off right here. I hope you all enjoyed the episode. Regardless, if you did, please make sure to go ahead and smash that like button right down below. It does help the algorithm a ton, as per usual. And, well, if you're new around here, if you haven't done so just yet, also please consider smashing that subscribe button right down below, as well as the bell icon right next to it, in order to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes and stay up to date on the crazy madness journey that this game is putting me through. With all that said, though, as usual, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll catch you all in the next episode very, very soon. Ciao.